Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Super Shredder Dan, and today we're going to be looking at the Eagle Atomizer branded for MaxVapor. So this was sent to me for free for purposes of review and testing. So full disclosure, shout out to MaxVapor on Reddit. You have a great store and you offer some great products. And let's go ahead and get into it. Right now I have a small glob of CBD loaded into the dual titanium coil, and I have this on my new Wismec Predator. I'm really liking this mod. It's basically a dual battery version of the Sinuous P80, but this one has a lot higher capacity. It's 228 watts, I believe. Anyway, I have this in titanium temp control mode at 400 degrees with the stock firmware. Let me go ahead and get a rip before I go into this review. Let me take that up a little bit. So, that's the dual titanium coil. You can see a little better in there now that we've got some wax melted into there. A few more hits to go on that. But let me go ahead and demo these other coils. So, as you can see, the Eagle Atomizer is a coil housing style wax atomizer. What you actually have here is the base with an adjustable airflow, and then the housing with a built-in splash guard and a mouthpiece that I would really call like a chuff cap. It's not really like a standard 810 drip tip or 510 or anything like that. It's very wide, so you can see there are the holes for the vapor to come through. And this is the mouthpiece. Just to give you a comparison to, like, this is a tank with a standard 810 drip tip. You can see how much wider this is. And some people say that that's a little bit too extreme, but honestly, I really like it. It's very wide, easy to just kind of like tuck into the corner of your mouth. So I really like this chuff cap or whatever. Though I do kind of wish that it would be compatible with all the other drip tips I have lying around. But it's a cool design. Another small thing that I really like about this housing, specifically compared to the Sayonara, as I know that's a lot of people's basis for a comparison, is you can see those etched kind of gripping fins on the top and bottom. Well, this is my juice tank that I usually have, the TFV12 by Smock, and it has basically the same etchings. So this is kind of a nice pair to have, as, you know, this is my regular juice mod, and then I'll swap that off for the Eagle, take a dab, and then put my juice tank back on. It's very cohesive with the rest of the look of my daily setup. Anyway, so we did a small demo of the dual titaniums. I did that first because this is basically my least favorite coil. It's a cool medium between the ceramic plate and the twisted stainless steel coil, which is looking a little dirty right now. But I just kind of got that out of the way. So let me go ahead and show off the ceramic plate next. So I really like this coil. One of the cool things about this is one of those coils where the hits aren't necessarily that big, but you can get very many hits per load. You can almost treat this as a load and go solution, though it doesn't have any special like flavor preservation as the Herc. But this is kind of that thing that you would pop into load point 1, point 2, and go to a concert, you know, not have to load all the time. So let me go ahead and new left, same right. New coil. Let me change this temperature to nickel. Cool. And put this at like 440 degrees. Actually, let me take this down. Do a small melt in so you guys can see. Oop. There we go. Nice. Let me go ahead and show off this ceramic plate, and then for the finale we'll show off that twisted stainless steel coil, which is currently my favorite, especially coming from a mainly RDA dabber. And then I'll get into my final thoughts and kind of my perspective as a main RDA user with reference to other things like the Herc, the Miracle S, other coil cup style atomizers like the Sayonara, and tell you if I think this is worth the $30 price tag. Cheers. So with this ceramic plate coil, I didn't load that up nearly as much as I have in the past, but I do like its capacity. I do find, if anyone's familiar with the Herc and their cool down hits, how you can kind of feel the oil pop with the bottom airflow. Same deal here. I do like to do cool down hits if I am loading a lot. If I'm loading a little, it's not too bad. But if you don't do cool down hits, specifically with this coil, I will say this, and you can see this, is that it will leak all around the casing. I don't know if you can see that very well, but yeah, all around the casing and in the housing as well. It's not looking too bad there, but especially up toward the rim, there's getting oil. And I think that's because even with the Eagle coils, there is a small bit of space between the housing and the coil, even when it's always screwed in. So I think that can cause for some leak issues. It hasn't really happened on the other two. Actually, it hasn't happened at all on my titanium coil, but I don't use that one as much, to be honest. It has happened just a very little bit on the bottom rim for the twisted coil, and I'm not usually overloading either of these. The only one I could potentially consider, overloading is this one, but that's kind of the draw of this one, at least in my opinion. So just fair warning, it does leak if you load it up a lot and don't do cooldown hits, but it's not that bad by any means. It's not like it's actually coming out of the airflow holes or anything. It's just getting all around the coil and stuff. So let's go ahead and demo this last coil, the stainless steel. And I actually, I know you can run this one in temperature mode, but it's a little inconsistent. I have a feeling that there's something going on with how they did the leads. Maybe I'm not entirely familiar with the terms, but crimped versus soldered to some non-resistive wire or whatever, making the temperature curve strange or something. But it's hard to get this to stay at a constant glow. It'll still kind of shift the temperature even in stainless steel temperature mode. I've tried a few other TCRs and stuff, but you can get it working. But personally, this is the hard-hitting coil. I like to use this one in wattage. So let me go ahead, put this in wattage mode at about 34 watts. Alright, just get another small chunk of this material. Let me give you guys a good look at this too. Yeah. Very amber, very good quality CVD shatter. Alright. Just put that right on that coil. And I do like, one thing I do like about these Eagle coil cups is how they are kind of sloped in. It's really easy to just use a single finger and get it right on the coil. The coils are much kind of higher up than other coil cup based systems, so it really is easy to just kind of pop something in there with a finger, you know, without a tool. Alright, let's do a small melt in. Alright. Cheers. One thing I will say about this coil, oh man, it hits hard. It is harsh, and the flavor does have the tendency to go very quickly. But this coil, if you want to impress someone, or if you just want to get them to attend, this is the coil. Excuse me, the coil to do it. For all its faults, you know, versus say a traditional nail, this twisted coil hits very hard. It is, excuse me, the closest thing to an RDA coil wrapped with quartz. These coils are huge, and there are other coils that are advertised for the Eagle Atomizers that look even more ridiculous, like frame staples, Claptons. If anyone's into RDA coils or you know, coil porn or whatever they call it on Instagram, I think you'll really appreciate some of the options that are available for the Eagle Atomizer. But yeah, this is my favorite coil, with a close runner-up to the plate style coil. But it was really nice, like array of coils. I would say the dual titanium is kind of a middle ground. It's not hard-hitting, lung-busting like the stainless steel coil, but it preserves flavor better than that and kind of hits closer to the ceramic plate. So now that we've done all that, let me also touch on this. The Eagle Atomizer works with sayonara coils, as in sayonara coils. So I have one right here. This is just the Canthal from the OG sayonara. They'll screw in there, yeah. But as I said with the Eagle Atomizer coils, there is still kind of a gap between the housing and the sayonara coil. I think a little more so, actually, than the regular ones. But, you know, you'll notice the sayonara ones only have 2 holes here, and there are 4 holes in the base. There's 4 holes on the Eagle coils. So, with how open the airflow is here, and from that gap, I found this almost always causes splatter if you use any Psy coils. I've only tested this one, but like in 1 or 2 uses it had a bunch of splatter on it. So your mileage may vary, but for using Psy coils, I'd just kind of advise using an actual SI. But if someone was looking to get a wax atomizer or a solution for wax on the go, this is not bad at all. For $30, this is a great deal. This coil carrying case is actually really, really convenient. I can put every coil I have right here in here, load them up. I actually put a little bit of wax in the casing, just as a oh cool, let me try that, but the material for this isn't that great. I would say if you could put one of these compartments have silicone in it, that would be awesome. Then that would be truly everything you'd need, just that and the Addy. But no, it comes with that, so that's great. That's a great array of coils that it comes with, and it also has a bubbler option. So I tried it, but I don't really like it. I don't really understand the appeal. Personally, I just prefer having a water adapter option, but this is a bit too wide for water. I didn't really like the bubbler just because I don't really use portable bubblers. I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of, being portable itself. But that bubbler just kind of, it did cool. It did work pretty well, but I never got a huge satisfying hit out of it. It always felt like it detracted from just hitting it dry. Though I tried using the side holes and carbing that, holding that, and then uncarbing it. It got a little bit better, but still wasn't preferable. Anyway, but what it does come with for $30 is really, really great. I think it's a great option if you're just looking into this, or if you have a SI and want to try something else, or if you're coming from RDAs and want to try some coil cup style atomizers. I really like it. Compared to other high-end stuff like the Herc, it's not really a competitor. It does sort of the high capacity thing with the plate coil, but it doesn't do the flavor preservation or true load up a 0.5 gram to 0.8 or something and just puff on it for a full day or something. No, this is you load it up once per session or two, but it very definitely degrades. But I will say the hard hitting coils hit really hard. Both other coils work in temperature control absolutely great, and I think for what it comes with, it is a steal for $30. And I think the full kit with an EVIC basic is $50 or $60. I think it's $60, and I think for that is a great entry level kit. Or if you just want something as a great second option or a backup, yeah, I would say I personally prefer it to the Sayonara because of the design, how easy it is to adjust the airflow, and just generally a more low-key kind of just looks like it goes with the box mod I have and many other box mods and my juice tank. So I really like the Eagle Atomizer. Thank you for sending one out, and take care, guys.